Ty Pennington is a massively popular TV host, designer, and builder, best known for inspiring people through hands-on design, construction, and community-focused projects. SkillsUSA is the nation's leading workforce development organization, empowering students to become skilled professionals, career-ready leaders, and responsible community members. We brought Ty to SkillsUSA's biggest event of the year, the National Leadership and Skills Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, held at the Georgia World Congress Center. In this video, we're showing you everything that happened on the show floor, and what happened when he met up at a Hollywood prop maker studio with SkillsUSA students in Atlanta. Everything you're about to see is about the world of skilled trades. To start, let's look at what a career in the trades can actually mean by examining what students can expect to earn.
How can you verify that the things you read on the internet are true? It's critical that young people getting into the trades know exactly what to expect and know what they can end up doing with their career. We take the technology very similar to a dating app and see the connections happening between job seekers and employers in real time. An HVAC technician in Dallas is earning this much money. A shipbuilder in Norfolk, Virginia needs these certifications in order to get the job. Accurate, live information is absolutely key to ensuring that the future of the skilled trades has the information and the accurate information they need to build their career. I'm gonna have a conversation today with some of my friends, Ty and Devin, about the most in-demand careers in America. We're gonna talk about everything you need to know to get into the skilled trades. So the first trade we're going to talk about today is Sparky Nation electricians. You know that right now they're the second most in-demand trade in the entire country?
I just like Sparky Nation.
What do you guys know about electricians?
Well, one, I know that the stats are shocking.
Yeah.
These kids, they can go, to a trade school, community college. It's gonna cost them about $24,000. A community college might cost them about $8,000 to get that 2-year degree, but they're gonna come out making on average nearly $27 an hour. Right now, the average electrician in the country, like everything from absolute entry level all the way to master, they're averaging nearly $39 an hour. That's over $80,000 a year. You go through the years, you become a master electrician, you start your own business. It's completely limitless.
And like that, you get in the union books.
Yeah.
And it's like your numbers are gonna start to go up.
We have such a massive need for electricians. We're going more solar. We're developing all these AI databases.
Right.
This industry is probably the one that's most at risk right now of not having the talent 5-10 years from now out of all the trades that are out there.
So if someone wants to be an electrician, like what do they have to go through to become one before they can just get hired?
On average, it's gonna take about 8,000 hours of an apprenticeship program. It's about 4 years for most people. One thing people hear all the time, yeah, but apprentices don't make anything. Well, guess what? As you start knocking out those hours, you go from basically the entry-level helper all the way up to that journeyman.
Yeah.
Your pay is also increasing.
It's funny, everything gets inspected, but with an electrician, you really have to be right.
You don't have to have any certification whatsoever to put panels on top of a house.
Right.
But you know what you do need a certification for? To connect those panels to the actual line coming in from the utility.
Yeah.
And guess who that is? The licensed electrician. You might not be, putting in solar panels, you're gonna max out your pay in the high 20s, but at the end of the day, hey, you still need the electrician to come in. Yep, everything good to go. Here you go. And guess what? That is one phenomenal invoice that they get to send that company.
Well, let's face it too, building houses these days is completely different than building houses 3 years ago because you're running Wi-Fi cables, you're running all kinds of cables. You've got now electrical shades that come down. You've got TVs that come down.
I was in a hotel last week. It took me a solid 12 minutes to figure out how to turn on the TV and how to close the shades. It was all from an iPad. I was like, I've never stayed anywhere this fancy. And I just started pressing buttons and it was like robots were taking over my hotel room.
Hey guys, so if you're enjoying all this incredible content about every skilled trade we're showing you, like and subscribe, and it all just gets better.
So what are some of the more unique things that you might not normally think about when it comes to being an electrician?
The jobs and the careers that are available. Right now, we're having an incredible explosion of manufacturing across the country. Advanced manufacturing, CNC, robotics, all of those things are going to require highly trained, highly technical individuals. But one of the jobs that no one thinks about is elevator technicians, escalator technicians.
Yeah.
Have you all ever checked out pay for an escalator or elevator?
I have, because I have a building that has an elevator in it. Let me just tell you, it's not cheap.
Non-union, you're looking at least $55 an hour to start.
Oh my God.
Non-union.
Yeah.
And most of those are union roles. One of the biggest contracts for PGA tournaments, the accessibility elevators. Someone's in a wheelchair, they obviously can't be moving around, lifts them right up. That's an elevator, which came from an electrician.
Even in home design, I mean, it's all about the ambience of the room. It used to be an on and off switch. Now it's several dimmers. It's all about knowing the wattage of the bulb that's going in.
Is it cool light? Is it warm light?
Well, your bathroom is another thing, right? Because you're dealing with like all kinds of new things in your bathroom that everyone wants the luxury of, but you're also right next to water, which means you've got to have a sort of an electrician make sure that it's installed properly. It's an important job, and that's why they've got to be trained right.
We have two options. We got HVAC over here.
Yep.
We got plumbing over here.
Yes.
Which one do you think is the most in-demand trade in America right now?
Well, if it's the summer, I would say HVAC.
Boom. We're here in Atlanta in the middle of the summer.
Yes.
I actually ran outside and I was disgusting. I thank God himself for having created HVAC.
Yes.
Do y'all know why HVAC was actually even created?
Why?
A dude named Carrier, you probably haven't heard of the brand,
Right.
came up with it, but it wasn't because he was so hot. They were working at a printing press and they could not get the ink to stop running in the middle of summer because it was so hot. So he's like, hey, what if we come up with a system to make the room colder? Boom, they invented the air conditioner. And now we're here in this beautiful arena and it's not 110 degrees in here like it is outside.
Here's a fun fact. HVAC, anytime you get a repairs, crazy expensive.
My wife and I recently sold our house, and of course, 2 days before it closed, I hear a weird sound. Go outside, the AC is completely frozen over, there's refrigerant everywhere. I'm like, awesome. So that repair actually really wasn't that bad, it was simply a refrigeration. But of course, while they're checking it out, they're like, hey, by the way, do you know that this hose is blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what he was talking about.
Problems that you didn't know
He's
you
like,
had.
I have a feeling this will probably bust in the next week. I was like, well, I closed on the house in 2 days. Should I be that guy and hope nobody notices? But no, $648 later, I was like, go ahead and fix it.
They get paid very well.
Right now, HVAC techs across the country, they're averaging 38 bucks an hour.
Wow.
Masters, well over 60. And of course, let's not even think about the fact that the entire eastern half of the country is just insanely hot right now.
Yes.
You get an emergency order right now,
Heat wave currently.
I can charge you whatever you want because guess what? I've got cold air, you don't.
And it always happens because people don't think about maintaining their unit, and it's always the hot months that it all breaks down, and they're so busy with everybody else they can't get to you for like 2 weeks.
It's like my physical fitness. I don't think about the fact that I should go to the gym until the pools open up. I'm like, ooh, all of winter is now showing. It's the same thing with HVAC.
Same thing.
So what kind of training would somebody need to get into HVAC?
HVAC is pretty interesting because one, there's a lot of different roles people can do. You know, most people think of residential HVAC. That's the really cool thing about HVAC that everyone thinks about. You know, we're having this huge heat wave right now, but you need refrigeration all year long, and it doesn't matter where you are. Transportation, storage, all those things. Boilers. All of these buildings, they're not running on normal AC units, they're running on boiler systems. So it really comes down to what kind of a job you want to have. And believe it or not, you can actually knock out universal EPA certification in about 6 weeks, all the way up to some programs like at a trade school or community college that can usually go to 10 to 12 months. And that's going to knock out all your certifications. Oftentimes you'll be graduating with a diploma, go right into the workforce. There's a lot of companies out there, especially this time of year in the summer, they're just looking for helpers. Yes, the pay is not going to be great, 18, 22 bucks an hour, but that allows you to get that initial training, work during the day, go home at night, about 40 hours later, you're ready to test, and boom, you're instantly going to see a jump.
So even if it's something that you're interested in and you don't have a college degree, it's still possible.
Completely.
It's also a trade where experience really pays off because when you're working with certain units, especially in summer, they work over time, and so they start creating a lot of condensation. You got to drain your lines. And if you don't, then it starts backing up. And there's situations that even I ran into where it backs up so much that it starts seeping over the pan, and then it's into your walls, and then you've got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage. I would say it's a great trade to go into if you live definitely in a climate where it's super warm, because you're going to get called all the time.
Almost 70% of every single product that's manufactured by man, guess what? Need at least one weld.
That makes sense.
If you could look at a job and say like, okay, what's gonna give me good job security? I don't know, something that requires 70% of everything. That's why we need over 80,000 new welders every single year in this country.
Wow.
But good news, welding is the most common accredited training program in the country.
So you were saying there's things that you might not even know and needs at least one weld. Do you have any ideas?
The pins that you're wearing right now. I mean, she's rocking the pins. She loves them. One of the biggest things right now in this country. We're doing massive investment in shipbuilding. Someone coming right out of a training program doesn't even have an AWS welding certification yet. You're looking at about $58,000 a year starting. As soon as you knock out that certification, it's going to take you probably a month to 3 months to knock out. You're looking at multi-$1,000 pay increase. That's a great career right off the bat.
And there's also shipbuilding, but there's also ship repair, which means the ship is in the water, so then you actually have to go underwater with an underwater welder, and that's really super high pay.
One, if you want to be an underwater welder, you'll always have a job. Two, you need to be more out of your mind than my boy Ty here. It is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you want to work a couple months out of the year.
That's all you need.
And bring home $250,000. Be as crazy as Ty, get on that suit, and go weld on the water.
There are machines here, like welding machines, that go up to 85 amps and can cut through 1.5 inches of steel. Like, that blows my mind. Yes, you can weld and also cut something small, but you can also fix something that thick.
Like, that's a tank.
Great. Yeah, that's a tank.
That's a tank.
That's an armor-plated tank.
How about a rocket ship?
You can weld in space?
Another fun fact?
Yes.
So in space, turns out you can't actually touch metals together because they'll instantly fuse. It's called cold welding. I never knew about this, and apparently NASA didn't know about this either when we first went to space, and we found out the hard way.
What? Wait a minute. What about an all-metal, heavy metal cop series called Magnetic Force? Anybody with me?
You are the TV guy, yeah.
I'm the lead guy at Sparky. I like this.
Electricians, HVAC techs, and welders. These are high-demand careers that pay well, don't require a mountain of student debt, and actually have a clear path to getting started. If you're even thinking about the trades, now is the time to act. Head to Blue Recruit using the link in the description. Whether you're just starting out or ready to level up, they've got the resources to help you move forward fast. And if you're not sure which trade is the right fit, take their one-of-a-kind skilled trades assessment. It's quick and it matches your interests with real career options. Your future doesn't have to wait. Start building it today.
In this segment, we spend some time with Brandon Myers, whose unconventional trades career path involving race cars, nuclear power plants, and education has been accomplished without a college degree.
I just made brackets for a living forever, and now I get to teach other kids how to do it too.
This is Brandon Myers.
I didn't go get my degree. I have no formal 4-year degree, no master's, no anything.
And he has a crazy story. Ty and I met up with Brandon at the SkillsUSA National Championship, where he shared his incredible rise from dropping out of school
This is absolutely not me whatsoever.
to working on F1 cars at Le Mans. And he's here to prove that you can do it too.
So I'm a mentor and advisor in SkillsUSA. We teach at a school here in Georgia called Maxwell High School of Technology. I teach manufacturing, precision engineering. This is career number 4 for me. I went from possibly being a priest to building race cars to fixing nuclear power plants to teaching. Then that's okay.
What a range.
Yeah, you know, maybe there's a fry cook in there somewhere.
These are sick robots. Just saying. All awesome orders. This is the most technical version of tic-tac-toe I've ever seen.
You should see Connect 4.
One of the big things that we have been talking about recently is this myth that college is the only option.
No! God! No!
Listen, I can talk about that personally. It's easy because I didn't go get my degree. I have no formal 4-year degree, no master's, no anything.
Did you start college? Because I started, but then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go into a different direction.
Just saying, a semester in, I'm like, this is absolutely not me whatsoever. But I did go to trade school. I figured out that I love working with my hands. I love working with tools. And then I discovered I like making the tools that I'm using. And it just expanded from there. And it's just like crazy, the stuff we got to do. There was a local sports car and race car manufacturer here just outside of Atlanta, and I wanted to work for them. So I went up there on a Monday, applied for a job, and they said, well, we'll talk to you. They're out to lunch. And I said, I'll wait. So I sat for 3 hours until they came out. Wow. And when the guy came out furious, wanting to know why I was there, I said, my name is Brandon Myers, and I'm the best floor sweeper you ever met. And I started sweeping floors in the race shop.
Because you wanted to work that badly at that place.
I had the hustle. I knew what I wanted to do. That's where I was going. going, and that's how it started. 4 years later, I had a chance to build celebrity sports cars. I helped build a car that won the 24 hours of Le Mans, the 12 hours of Sebring. I got to do some of the coolest things ever. I traveled the country. It was pretty sick.
Brandon's career path may be unconventional, but it's not unusual. Every day, people are discovering that you don't need a college degree to build a fulfilling, exciting career. That's the promise of the skilled trades. Work you can do with your own two hands that pays well and has real meaning. Ready to explore your path? Click the link in the description. Take Blue Recruit's Skilled Careers Assessment and see which trade is the right fit for you. Your future is waiting. Are you ready?
This is one of those things, if you have a skill, if you're a plumber, an electrician, you're a machinist, you're a die and tool maker, there's no walking out of that and then saying, well, now I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. You will always be able to do that with yourself, and that's huge for something like this.
And even if you've got a skill in one trade, you're going to learn another one just being working side by side with the other one.
The last 20 years have told me that, and shoot, the last 20 years have told you that too.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs didn't have a proper degree. He did stuff, but he was willing to do the stuff. Wozniak was the same. All of our innovators are that way. More than anything, this is a playground to breed critical thinking. Every one of those people, including yourself, have the respect for the people who start or continue here. Willing to hone themselves in every which way to make themselves the true craftsmen, craftswomen that they can be.
So, okay, you're mentioning some, jobs. Like, I want to know the other jobs you're able to get without a college degree.
After working for the race car manufacturer and getting the chance to do all that kind of stuff, one of my students, because at the time I also started teaching nights at the local trade school, had an opening at a facility that specialized in what they call specialty robotic repair for nuclear power plants.
What?
Yeah, so, nuclear power plants, it's a pressurized system. You're using nuclear material to boil water, essentially. Over time, that pressure, that radiation, it causes microfractures in piping and in plumbing. Pressure chamber, like they're building. I know it's crazy.
It's great. So you got that job without a college degree. Without a college degree.
Power plant.
Yeah, for 10 years. Before I left, I was their prototype specialist and I ran the manufacturing department. So we actually designed orbital welding systems. We would have it come in, clamp around a pipe or another vessel. It would grind away material remotely, fully welded, fully inspected, fully ground. We would do all of it from scratch, one piece at a time. So,
and you became the guy they went to. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I have to say, this is what I love about your story. You're able to do so many incredible jobs without a college degree. But my whole thing is, it's about like going through every door of opportunity and gaining experience anywhere you can.
Absolutely.
Because you never know what's coming down the road that you're going to use that type of experience or that knowledge. It's like every chapter, soak up every chapter of your life and walk through every door. And you clearly have done that without a college degree.
Without a college degree. Just being willing to walk through the door and being willing to use my hands.
So you've got your students here. What kind of things are they competing in at the moment?
So most of my students, we compete in CNC manufacturing and additive manufacturing, which is kind of the future. Subtractive and additive manufacturing, 3D printing, stuff like that. And they're given the blueprints to a part. They're shown what the part's supposed to look like. They're given X amount of time to create that part. Our students have been wildly successful, and I'm thrilled about that. I tell everybody it has nothing to do with me, has everything to do with them. My job is just to kick the door open.
But there really is nothing like a mentor that can inspire these students to go and pursue their dreams and these things that, like, you have a part in that. Don't discredit yourself.
I joke that I'm a horrible teacher. Well, one, because I never was properly a teacher.
Which means you're the best, right?
Well, that's nice. But I only give them maybe 60, 70% of a problem. I present them something, and oftentimes it's nothing that I've even figured out. I have no idea how we're going to solve it. But that's the point. If you give students hurdles and stop making it easier for them, everybody thrives. We all get better. We get better in a pressure cooker. We don't get better sitting on the counter.
I have to see this car. It's so beautiful. Wow. Oh, wow. Well, you're really in some tight quarters there, aren't you?
Yeah.
And this is top tier. F1 is top tier in the entire world when it comes to racing. The fact that an American manufacturer like Haas CNC Machinery, Haas Automation, is able to both at the same time compete at the highest level of sports car racing and support students at the beginning of their careers.
Are you telling me that some of the parts on this were in the CNC? Know what you're telling me?
Oh yeah. Once again, tying into everything we've said, there's no 4-year degree requirement to be a part of what it takes to create this. There's just the need to walk through the door, be willing to thrive, be willing to be the best.
And willing to learn.
And willing to learn.
Yeah. Wow. This is so good. So awesome. So amazing.
Yeah, we could pick this up when we're all done and nobody's watching, and we could just kind of walk out with it. Now we've made it over to the competition side of the CNC machining process.
Oh yeah.
And this really shows an example of, what the students are going to be using when they go into the different career opportunities out there in the field. One of my students, she's already earned an opportunity to work for a local defense contractor. So she's working on stuff for military applications, and will have access to machinery like this and engineering stuff like this already at 18 years old.
Wow.
We have students who are also going into the exact same fields that I was, where they're working with other energy sectors where they're able to make parts that go into service all the time. None of them finished a proper 4-year degree. They took opportunities at internships, apprenticeships, or just entry-level jobs, and were just willing to get their foot in the door and do the work.
You've been saying that your students are here. Would we be able to talk to one of them?
You know what? You're in luck. In fact, we have one right there.
So Tim, what is it like to have Brandon as a teacher? We've been hearing a lot of his stories about, getting to be a mentor and getting to teach you all. What's it been like?
It's been awesome. He's taught me so many things that I wouldn't have known otherwise. It's rare to find a teacher who's not only as skilled at what they teach, but also as good at being a teacher as Mr. Myers is. And he's just a lot of fun while he's doing it.
I think that's so important for a teacher, because the truth is we learn so much more when we're having fun. But I think human beings are understanding, at least the good teachers are, that connection that you have to have, like a one-on-one relationship or like a small group, is so important, because clearly there's such more of an impact. When you believe in them, they believe in you.
I absolutely agree. We wouldn't be on a YouTube channel if we weren't, as a species, thriving connection.
Right.
So if we can't foster that individually in a group in a classroom, we're not doing it right.
So are you saying to like and subscribe?
I think I might be saying to like and subscribe.
So Brandon, gotta say, always a pleasure. Good luck this week with you and your students. Hopefully we're gonna see some big things out of them.
I'm really excited. I'm sure I will. They're pretty awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all of this.
Thank you so much.
And once again, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Next up, automation is changing the skilled workforce. So we brought Ty to talk with 2 large robotics companies to learn more.
So when you think about the trades, you often think about hammers and other tools, but what about the robots?
Attention everyone, run for your lives! Robots are taking over the world!
It's right at you.
That's kind of cool.
I did go to some college, but I did not get a degree in robotics. I started off in architecture.
This is something that you can do without a degree.
Absolutely.
Let's face it, robotics are not only the future, but anybody who makes anything on an assembly line also needs robotics. They're gonna need programmers and they're gonna need students. So we're gonna walk the floor and find out what's up with robots.
So we are discussing AI and automation in the industry. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah, what does FANUC do?
Fanic.
Oh, it's Fanic.
So
I love it.
So
Maybe
maybe
your slogan has got to be "Don't panic."
That's right.
Fanic.
That's right.
Exactly.
So there isn't much that isn't touched by automation, robotics, CNC, everything from cars to food to aerospace. It's robots that are typically making the products that we use in our day-to-day life.
What is this doing with people in the industry? There's this idea that robots are taking over people's jobs.
Yeah, certainly that's one of the biggest myths right now, is that robots take jobs. For every deployment of a robot in industry, basically the studies show like 3 or 4 different accompanying jobs are created. Deloitte says there's 2.1 million jobs that'll go unfulfilled if we don't change course in manufacturing, and that's like vital to our infrastructure. It's also the aspect of, if we're going to compete globally, we need to use the latest and greatest technology that we have access to compete on the global scale.
Yeah, so kind of what you're saying here is that these robots are actually creating more opportunity and more growth in these jobs rather than taking it away?
Yeah, so after COVID or during COVID, they were talking about reshoring, right? That was a big word. The jobs that we lost back in the 60s and 70s, we can do them here. We just didn't want to physically do them. However, When we integrate the robots with the employees, we absolutely can bring those back from any country that we lost them to.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the best skilled trades content available on the internet.
What's important here is that we give the force multiplication to the existing working force that already has the skill. We want welders to learn how to use this equipment for the sole purpose to get rid of the mundane welds and let that human being do the pipe welding, do the difficult welding that an automation solution can't pull off.
Okay, so we need robots to stay competitive. But how do we determine what's good for robots and what's good for us?
When we as a company start to evaluate an application, if it's good for a robot, we say, is it dirty? Is it dangerous? Is it difficult? Is it dull?
The 4 Ds of robotics.
Yeah, like humans shouldn't be doing this. We should be using our minds, our creativity, our ingenuity.
So that's why it's about integration. That way you have the robot and the person working together. And it doesn't work on its own.
Automation is a tool in the toolbox for a machinist. Let the robot slide the door back and forth and smash the green button all day. Let that machinist set up a second one, or a third one, or a fourth machine tool. Using this device, let the robot take care of the easy stuff and let the person do the real stuff.
Want to get your career started in the robotics industry or any skilled trade? Click the link in the description to get started right now, thanks to our friends at Blue Recruit.
Well, I'm Clint Chapman. I'm the leader for education and workforce development for our company. 25-year employee of this company, so I've been able to be out in the industry as well as coach and mentor schools how to modernize their curriculum and bring robotics into that atmosphere. To have robotics as ubiquitous as a number 2 pencil.
Bill Gates Foundation says basically half the kids that drop out of school do so because they're bored.
Right?
That's a problem. They're bored in school, they're not challenged. Whereas this, it's hands-on, they get into automation and they just take off. You know, I used to think that I wasn't good at math, but it was a white sheet of paper with black numbers and then they throw in letters and like, what is that about? But when am I ever gonna use this in real life?
That's what I said. When will I ever need this geometry? And then I got into carpentry, I'm like, oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
But I was always really good at like using a protractor, tape measure, calculating angles, XYZ coordinates. Well, that's what we use in robotics and CNC all the time. But it's not just, you know, angles and stuff. If you like software, like video gaming, we do simulation software. If you like turn in a wrench, you can work on these and fix these, make mechanical repairs.
How can high school students, you know, be a part of this? Like, are you guys integrating that into high schools?
So we integrate this into high schools, not only with the physical equipment, but with the curriculum as well. When we build a system, we build an industrial system for schools to make sure it's done the same way as industry. So they learn to wire, they learn to strip a wire, they learn to number the wire, they learn to read the wiring diagrams, do all the wiring on here, and then do the programming of it. So students interact with this before they ever get on the big machine.
I really wish the guys that did my electrical would have labeled all the wires up in my attic. That would have been really helpful.
That's exactly right.
So here at Skills, like, you've got young minds coming out of here. A lot of them are getting into robotics, mechatronics. So what are you guys looking for?
I'm a FANUC integrator.
Okay.
So I take the robot, integrate it into a system to have the robot do something, whether I'm palletizing, whether I'm robotic welding, and we're looking for students to learn the robots, to go to an integrator like myself or to one of my competitors. What we do here is this goes to a school, we pull all the components off of a big system and they can start learning all of the components here on what we call an ILS or an industrial learning system.
So basically what this is a learning center to teach students not only how to repair something, but also how it actually works.
How it actually works. When a student graduates working on our equipment, we want them to be ready to walk into my plant and have an interview. Not a deer in the headlights like, I just spent 4 years working on Tinker Toys and I got an interview for that job. No, we want them to be really comfortable on the industrial equipment that they worked on at school to be able to come and get a job.
So we estimate we impact probably about 60,000 students a year, and since the inception of our program, about 1 million students have experienced FANUC in some way and opportunities in automation. A lot of the times, one of the challenges some of the community colleges and trade schools is where in high school, some of those people might drop out, they job out of the programs. They get hired before they finish their certification or their degree even.
That's a good thing.
So do you think in combination with the younger students that are now going into these trades and also automation, do you think this will make it easier to maybe bridge that skills gap?
If you think of like kids that like playing with like a Lego kit, like this is very intuitive. You get a schematic, you know, here's your build instructions, you go through, you land the wires in the different locations, you label all of them, where you could take something like a skill that's learned in Legos and apply it to building industrial control cabinets.
But robots aren't just about Legos. They're about candy too.
So over here we have a robot that throws candy. That was designed by students that built this. Yeah, we can come over here.
I love candy.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's nerds too.
So this is what's gonna happen.
3, 2, 1.
And put your hands out. Ta-da!
That's mine.
This specific system was actually designed and built by interns. They had to design the plunger system, they had to design the magazine system, everything it took to do what? To make candy over the top bar.
How old were these interns that designed this?
19.
Wow.
Yeah, just out of high school.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Legos, candy, robots. This sounds awesome. But can I make a career out of that?
So we had CTC students who were juniors, rising seniors in their summer break making $15.50 an hour as high school students.
As their first job. Wow.
As their first job, as a node on their pathway.
Yeah.
Now, they still went back to school, they still continued on, but now they had in their resume a global robot company, and they got to be on the floor doing all the QC checks, loading the software, manufacturing, putting in the manufacturing process to kick that robot out the door. Yeah. And the skills that are coming out of here are directly employable today.
We really took a proactive approach to working with education coming out of the 08, 09, like the housing market crisis. Plants were like closing their doors, people were doing early retirement. Well, that was a big vacuum of knowledge that left the workforce, and we saw that as a problem. So we decided we really need to start working with education, do it the right way where we get latest and greatest technology. We train and certify the instructors. We have curriculum that goes along with that, certification so that we can validate what the students are learning. But not only that, like they're able to change the life of that individual student. They can go right from high school into a career or go to a community college. We have high school students making $25, $35 an hour with a robotics or CNC credential right out of high school. Yeah. No student debt. They go into the community college, they get their associate's degree. Now they're in that $35, $45 an hour. I mean, that's $90,000. Yeah. They get tuition reimbursement after they get hired at a facility, and they can graduate with no debt. The value proposition for that individual student is tremendous.
So I love that we're finding out so much about like robotics. I had no idea that kids that are 19 years old right out of high school can get a job in robotics.
You can create a machine that throws nerds at you.
And the fact that like they chose nerds, kind of awesome.
That's what you are.
Yeah. You know what? Being here, I feel like the ultimate.
Me too, though.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy what you're watching, make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button.
No matter where you go in the skilled trades, you're gonna need tools. Here's a handful that are essential to have in your tool belt, no matter what field you end up working in.
Hey everybody, guess where we're at?
We're here at SkillsUSA and LSC.
We're gonna go find out what are the 5 tools every school tradesperson needs.
Let's go.
My favorite tool is my wobble ratchet.
Does it ever leave your side?
Yeah, when one of my employees steal it.
What's your favorite sound?
The engine starting after I rebuilt it.
Nice. I was gonna be, he's a robot.
Because you're like in that moment, like, is it gonna start or is it gonna hang up? What's gonna happen? And then it happens, and it's like, ah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
If you've got a faulty starter starting to go out, what's the trick?
Bang on it with either a hammer or something. You gotta get up underneath there and just.
So a mechanic does need a hammer.
Yeah, they do.
Behind me is the electrician competition here at NLSC. And you know what every electrician needs in their toolbox? A multimeter. Electricians swear by this. Every trade benefits from knowing if a wire's live before you touch it. But it's not just volts. It reads amps, resistance, continuity. If something's not working, this is your detective. Troubleshooting without a multimeter is like guessing in the dark. This gives you real answers.
Quick question.
Yes.
What's your favorite tool that you can't live without?
This marker right here.
I do graphic design technology, so I hope to be a freelancer or go into the
I like the way that
marketing
you're
side of
staring to the camera too. You know that's called.
things. I'm PR trained. What do you expect?
So you're a graphic designer. What is your favorite tool?
My favorite tool is probably Photoshop.
You like working in layers.
Oh yeah, I love layers. It's like an onion. You pull back every layer and you just get more of it. You know what I mean?
Are you an advisor?
Cabinet making instructor.
Of course, you're a New England cabinet maker.
Why not?
Who some say are the best in the U.S., but
I've heard that.
Why did you become an advisor to teach kids how to make cabinets?
I experienced this as a high school student myself.
So
and
what
I
he will tell you, he's very humble.
Yeah.
He's a national gold medalist.
You got gold here?
In 05, yes.
As a professional, skilled, gold-winning cabinet maker, what is your most important tool? What is your favorite tool to use?
I do love running the CNC.
I would have figured it would have been a square.
I like the big stuff, the big money items.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the technology's become really cool.
I love to see you coming back and like really helping out the next generation, because let's face it, we're going to need it. We're going to need these kids to know what you know.
Yeah, the industry's starving for the professionals.
Yeah. All right, next tool would be the cordless drill. Now here's the thing. You're going to want something at least 18 volts all the way up to like 24. Anything below that, it's not going to have the torque you need. Everything is battery now, and when you got battery and power on the go, it's priceless. So no matter what trade you're in, you kind of gotta have a cordless drill.
What's your most essential tool? Drop it in the comments below. And if you're ready to build your future with your own two hands, take Blue Recruit's brief Skilled Trades Assessment. The link's waiting for you in the description.
What is one tool that each of you cannot live without?
I would say a chip and hammer. It gets the slag off the top of the weld.
What about you?
Probably a grinder.
That's a better answer than
yeah, to clamp the metal a little bit.
I'm gonna go with a grinder too.
Also a grinder? Right, 2 for 3.
Might have to
You're the odd one out.
Okay.
No, come on.
I'll stick with
the
it.
hammering the slag was nice.
There we go.
What is the one tool you can't live without? What's your favorite tool?
Man, the one tool I can't live without is the heavy metal band Tool.
Wow. Love it.
That's the one tool I can't go without, man.
Yeah.
Their song Sober, Ticks and Leeches. I mean, they got so many good songs.
Can you name a third one?
A third one. Man.
Well, maybe their third
cover,
album.
their Led Zeppelin cover of No Quarter.
You literally touched my heart on that one. That's fantastic. One of the best albums ever.
The next tool is a pipe wrench. Now, it's a classic because it works. It grips like nothing else, even when it's wet, greasy, or corroded. The jaws adjust in seconds, so you're not digging through your bag for 5 different sizes. Perfect for demolition, too. This thing's basically a wrecking ball with teeth.
Let me just clean you up a little bit. Okay, first of all, you're in the skilled trades. What do you guys do?
We're a group of John Deere dealers in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and we look for students who want to be diesel techs. And we actually pay for tuition, we pay for tools so they graduate debt-free.
Love it.
They go to school for 8 weeks at a time. The rest of the time they're at their shop working, being paid while getting training from school. Most of our first-year techs are making $60,000 to $80,000 the first year after graduation.
Love it. We're asking people that are in the trades, like, what is your number one tool? Like, what's the tool that you probably couldn't live without?
Oh, set of heavy-duty wrenches.
Why do you have your wrenches laying in a bucket of corn?
So,
I mean, I'm just so confused.
This is a game for the kids.
Oh, is it? Is it like bobbing for wrenches? Like, I don't understand.
So if you can get 4 nuts and bolts in there in 3 minutes, you win one of our hats.
Do you want to give it a try?
I think we ought to team up.
Oh, there's one.
Okay, let's just keep trying.
Ooh.
Oh boy, nope, that's not it. I can imagine we're losing the race already.
You're
What
doing
is this?
good. You got 2 minutes left.
Oh,
2 minutes? That's actually working. Nope, it's not working. We got to get lucky here somewhere. Nope, nope, and nope. How many minutes we got?
Minute and a half left.
Minute and a half.
You got this.
There you go. That's enough. That's enough.
Okay, this is not going as well as I thought. You're losing oxygen. You're gonna have to repair the leak.
You got 1 minute
Oh, it's
left.
in my hand.
We're just going.
Yeah, I can't live without it.
You got 30 seconds left.
Wow. So we've got 3 in. We just need that last one installed. I'm guessing it's this nut right here. Nope, it's not that.
15 seconds.
15 seconds? You gotta be kidding me.
10 seconds.
Final.
There you go.
Hey! Nice. Wow, the pressure was insane. I don't know if I could do that. I don't think I could compete anymore. Please tell me I could have just used this. You know, that would have been, yeah.
Here you go, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow.
Did you guys want some?
You know, I didn't think I was going to be able to compete this year, but I'm just amazed. Like, I feel pretty good about our chances now.
Yeah, I feel like you got this.
Yeah. So the next tool to talk about is the laser level. Now this is a game changer. Here's why. So not only is a laser level always accurate, but it can also lay out a grid in a room. This helps with several things. Hanging cabinets, because as you know, kitchens are never level. But you can also paint grids, you can use follow lines, you can tape lines on there so you can paint patterns using it. So many ways. A laser level is literally a game changer. What's the one tool you guys can't live without as electricians?
Oh, my lineman pliers. I use them every day.
Oh yeah, same here.
So you guys, you think you'll ever switch to dentistry?
No, absolutely not.
If you could pick a favorite tool, what would your favorite tool be?
Well, I'm a recruiter for our diesel technicians in our college program.
So it'd be a telephone? I'm kidding. But honestly,
impact probably, probably an impact. Like you got to get the bigger tools for the big.
So an impact.
Like drill.
Yeah, impact drill. Yeah. I guess the other question is, can I get in that? Can't?
I don't see why not.
Oh, this is nice. So this is state of the art. What I like about this though is it's narrow. Sometimes you got to go down, with a water line. Right. You got to go right next to a house and a fence. So this will get right in there. So you can program how deep this needs to go, and it won't go past that in case there's a water line.
Correct.
Love that.
We're the future.
Wow, that's really good.
You're going.
Because I sort of dig first, ask questions later. I just need to know: are they antennas? Are we horticulturalists? Are we beekeepers?
Bee antennas, because we're from Utah, the beehive state.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so what skills trade are you guys going into?
The both of us are going to 3D visualization and animation.
And then the two of us back here, we're going into game development.
Perfect.
Love it.
So what's the buzz? What is the one tool that you cannot live without?
An Apple Pencil.
What about just for your own sanity? What can you not live without?
Calendar app.
Yeah. Where are your bee antennas?
That's so.
I traded them for a pin.
So what is the dream? What do you want to hopefully create one day?
I think it'd be really cool to go to some large VFX studios, create cool VFX, 3D models, work for game companies. I don't know.
I want to make like a massively multiplayer community, like a game that a lot of people like play together. That's always been a dream of mine. I love multiplayer games.
What is your favorite multiplayer game? Like if you could only play one game for the rest of your life?
This is crazy.
It's a tough question.
I would say The Isle. The devs are not doing it justice right now, but even though they are messing it up, it's still one of the best games I've ever played.
So they should hire you?
They should hire me. Yeah. I can fix it. I can fix it.
Get her a job.
Yeah.
No tool is worth it if you're not around to use it. PPE protects your eyes, your ears, your hands, and your future. From steel-toe boots to ear protection, it's not just safety. It's comfort and performance all day long. Well, Ty, we've been talking about everybody's favorite tools, but I want to know, what is the one tool that you can't live without?
I like the blower. It not only cleans up the dust in your shop, but it does great to make your hair look amazing with mucus and sawdust. So what is your favorite tool?
And in broadcasting, for me, I feel like it's probably an IFB. Being able to have that director in my ear when we're running low on time, it got them yelling at me, "Rock, Devin, rock."
I would say my favorite tool, honestly, probably also be the CNC router, because it can create like the Taj Mahal if you program it to. So sometimes it's nice to have a machine that can do the detailed work. But look, I also just like a chisel, a planer. You know what I mean? Like what happened to like tools that just had a blade and it was made out of wood? I like primitive tools because I'm a man.
Make sure you like the video and subscribe to us on YouTube for more great skilled trades content.
We took Ty off the show floor to meet up with a bunch of additive manufacturing students to witness firsthand the process of building props used in TV shows and movies, all thanks to additive manufacturing professional Travis Wood.
I was told to show up here at this exact moment in the middle of SkillsUSA National Championships. See, my new friend Travis is about to deliver something that was made for me. It's supposed to be important, maybe even a bit personal. It was made by high school students earlier in the week,
And while I don't know exactly what it is, I'm super excited and also pretty curious as to what they have for me. See, to get here, I had to walk into a studio packed with retro games, movie props, and 3D printers, get my face scanned, and open up about my life to a group of students I'd never even met before.
Hey there,
Travis!
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, got something for you.
Ooh, I'm excited. What is this?
Before I show you what they gave me, we need to start at the beginning in Travis's studio just outside of Atlanta.
Today, I'm hanging out with a bunch of additive manufacturing students.
I'm just super excited. I heard that he produced some props that were used in Marvel films.
It's a new experience.
I want to see how some of the movie props are made.
I'm very excited.
The guy can create like anything that you can put your mind to.
This is a great opportunity for our students who have had the chance to see additive manufacturing, machining, and other real skill trades in the classroom. Now they get to see it applied in the real world.
Them seeing what Travis is able to do in his studio is going to inspire these kids to be the next Travises. And I think we're going to see a lot of cool stuff today.
Travis Wood is an additive manufacturing professional. In simple terms, that means he builds things layer by layer. Instead of carving away at a block of material like traditional manufacturing, additive manufacturing starts with nothing and adds layers until something incredible appears.
I see bright colors. This is going to be good.
Most people know it as 3D printing, but in the right hands, it's a whole lot more than that.
Are you kidding me? You've got all these video games?
It's art, engineering, and imagination fused together. Travis uses it to create everything from film props to one-of-a-kind collectibles, sometimes even perfect reprints of the stuff we grew up with.
So is this like an authentic still suit?
It might as well be.
So I could drink my own fluids if I was wearing this?
Yeah, you'll sweat enough too.
Yeah, I can guarantee you that.
His studio is part workshop, part time machine, and part movie set. Today, it's also a classroom.
You made this here.
Yeah, like even to the point to where the fabric is custom. This is all silk screen, puff additive paint. All the elements you see here either digitally sculpted, 3D printed, molded, casted, laser cut.
Travis and a team of students are going to show me how this technology is changing the future of skilled trades. But they've also got a secret project of their own. Apparently, it involves my ADHD brain. And honestly, that makes sense.
Long story short, yes, I saw a lot of tornadoes.
This place looks just like it. Loud, colorful, and buzzing with possibility.
Another example I can show you here is like, instead of it being for like creation, this was like actually for preservation. From Star Trek The Next Generation, this was like a big deal prop. The only existing pieces, because these were made in like a latex rubber that just got obliterated, but somebody had like silicone mold, but it was so old, you know, you could just breathe on it, it would turn to dust. So I used a 3D scanner to scan the mold and then, you know, reverse engineered it and was able to preserve it. This is actually cast in sugar.
What?
And so there was a gun that was used in a murder, and the shot was him throwing it in a river, you know, to get rid of it. And instead of, you know, you'd either have to have the gun tied to a piece of monofilament and then reset it by pulling it back up. And we just came up with the idea of like, well, if the gun is made of sugar, it'll just dissolve in the water fully. Hopefully the fish didn't get diabetes after that. But
Sugar's a lot better than most things that are thrown in the river.
How long does like one thing take to like produce?
If we're talking like film industry timeline, typically those move extremely fast. I've been asked to make something in a few hours. I've been asked to make stuff overnight that should take weeks to make, but it's just do it. It's typically very high pace, and most people aren't used to that. Thankfully, 3D printing technology has gotten far faster since I've been doing this. I've been in the shop space 8 years now. When I was first in here, like a helmet would take days. Now it takes hours.
Travis's shop is like a dream factory. You can make anything here. But how does an idea go from your head to something real in your hands? Travis is about to walk us through the whole process.
Oh, wow. Now, see, this is my childhood. You've even got a token machine. But you've also got, like, all your monitors and your computer screen. So this is a functioning office with lots of things to play with.
I like to surround myself with what inspires me, and retro video games was probably the reason why I became an artist to begin with.
I think that's the trick, honestly. Keeping passion to any project going. It's like, you gotta have fun.
So from here, guys, once things are digitally sculpted, digitally planned, most likely the next step is 3D printing. How many of you have actually printed stuff before?
All of us.
All of us? Yeah, excellent. These are referred to as FDM machines, you know, and you're printing on spools of material. I'm sure you guys know or are familiar with like this type of machine that pulls stuff out of light sensitive goo, right? They're mainly known as SLA machines, which is stereolithography. This is the most like sci-fi printer to me because this bed goes down and literally just pulls the stuff out of the goo. These are also machines that allow me to print extremely fast because the entire build plate, full thing, full volume, is highest resolution is only going to take 12 hours. Something like this was printed in about 8 hours, and it was this level of quality when it came off the machine.
So you didn't have to sand that down. It came out that smooth.
Within 1 hour, it was in primer.
When the machine is running, you can't make it go faster. So how do you like manage your time so like you're always working?
So if I'm on a very tight timeline and I just need to like go as fast as possible, I might, you know, in the case of this armor right here, not all of this was even finished sculpting when I'm printing parts, you know, and it's just like I kind of have to quick plan like how things look as a whole, but might refine certain elements, get them ready for printing immediately, and then, you know, continue to build the rest of it out once the machines are going. Once all machines are running, I feel like I can breathe because I know progress is being made, even if I take a 5-minute break. Also the feeling of when you go home and you're sleeping and you're like, our printers are working.
In art, right? When you're trying to be perfect at something, it always ends up not being that, right? And so it's the mistakes and the failures we make that sometimes leads to a discovery. Does that happen with this as well?
Oh yeah, all the time. You kind of want to make those mistakes because once you've encountered that issue, you're probably going to learn from it and not happen again. 3D printing is how I got into this to begin with. It's led me down so many other paths that are like connecting skills that will basically allow you to utilize and make pretty much anything you want.
After the printing room, the next stop is the hard shop, where Travis takes the item and cleans it up to be painted or molded.
Miniature painting station here. We got an old school relief press right here. We've got a vacuum forming machine. We also have a large walk-in clean room for spray booth.
Can we do that scene where Spock is inside there?
Jim! Jim!
We also have a large format laser cutter.
You got a much smaller CNC than I thought you'd have, but that's kind of cool. You don't.
That's the 2x4. That's the 4x8.
Oh.
There was one time where there was just one little plastic part was screwing up one of the axes, and I called the company, and they were like, "The quickest we can get it to you is 3 days." And so I was like, "All right." So I just took the part, made a mold, casted it, and put it on there. I was like, "I got it in an hour."
That's what I was saying.
After the item has been cleaned up, he takes it to the molding and casting room for duplication. Once Travis has everything molded and casted, the final step involves painting, coating, and finishing the item.
What do I mean by mold making is that we take that master and we make a silicone mold. Once I have the mold, I can recreate copies much faster, and they'll also be out of a different material that's much more durable than like a 3D printed resin.
I know a lot of the stuff you do and whatnot is like people are like, hey, I need like a Batman outfit that needs to fit me. But do they ever kind of give you like more vague instructions where you get like creative with it?
So sometimes that can be great, but it can also be not so great at the same time, because there can be scenarios where production isn't specific on what they want, and they think they know what they want. They tell you that, you make it, and then they just change it a million times, and that process is like pulling teeth from them. Especially when we're getting into a point to where it's like people can generate concept art with AI very quickly. You kind of feel like you're AI.
What does that feel like? I'm sure these guys want to know. Like when you create something and then you see it, you know, used, and like then millions of people see it.
The Loki series, at the time, that was the most popular show in the world, and my wife and I made a lot of stuff for it. And so seeing main character weapons or the little collars or just all these different aspects that just people were going crazy for on Twitter, you know, Instagram, whatever, you know, already trying to decipher how things were made so they could add it to their cosplay, and just seeing like millions of people do that was just like,
Yes.
Travis builds amazing stuff, but now the students want to build something else, starting with an interview about my life. I'm curious, what do they want to know?
How would you describe yourself?
Well, my mom said it best. She said, listening to me is like trying to drink from a fire hydrant. If I have a thought, like, I burst it out. It's same with ideas. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I just have to get it out. And sometimes the ideas are good, but, 50% of the time, they're also just really bad.
What are some of your favorite moments from your childhood?
Well, let's see. There's good ones and there's there's the learning ones. I was the youngest, right? So when I came home from the hospital, my brother saw me and immediately threw his bottle at me.
Oh, great.
Because I was already sort of demanding attention at a very young age. One of the most defining moments for me as a kid is my mom was studying to be a child psychologist. She went to my elementary school to study the worst kid there was. And they're like, Mrs. Pennington, I don't think you really want to know who that is. I was such a distraction to all the other kids trying to learn. I wore my desk. I slapped Johnny on the back of the head. I climbed in and out of the windows. I was swinging on the blinds. I was always drawing or creating or trying to make something, but I was doing it in the house. So I was drawing all over the walls. And at one point, my parents asked me, why don't you take it outside? I convinced the other kids in my neighborhood to borrow their dad's tool, and we built a 3-story treehouse in a day. The family was impressed, but not so impressed that they're like, wow, you should become a carpenter. It was more like, well, thank God you didn't do it in the house.
How did growing up in Georgia, in this area, affect you?
I think for me, growing up inner city was really key, because at 8 years old, I could walk out the street, catch Marta, and take it either to a mall or take it to Six Flags. Having that kind of independence at 8 years old, and you didn't really come back until till dark. And of course, I got into skateboarding at a young age too, and we'd go down these really steep hills, and there's nothing better than learning what a rock feels like, getting stuck under your wheel at 35 miles an hour, and then, so yeah, I'm sure you felt that, so it feels so good.
It's real fun.
Yeah, and there's nothing quite like the wind hitting that open scrape, that wound, I was constantly a distraction, and I think the truth was this: I wasn't soaking in the knowledge, like I wasn't learning at the same rate as the other kids, and I think what I was doing is rebelling. So like, if I'm not going to be learning, I didn't want them to learn either. It's like a curse and a blessing, because I think being someone who's easily distracted with ADHD, it also, you get ideas and creativity that you wouldn't, I think, if you weren't. So I love a deadline. I like finishing a project, moving on, because if I don't, I'll just start 3 projects that never get finished.
So you told me that you always have like such a deep conversation with, or like a deep connection with your brother. How was he like?
My mom worked 2 or 3 jobs while going to college. I was dropped off at Brookhaven Boys Club. Because of that, that's when I learned to sort of like do different projects with local kids. There was a time we were going to go fishing, and my brother was digging for worms, and he hit a yellow jacket's nest. I saw them just come out of the ground, and they stung him 35 times, and I saw his head start to swell up, and my parents weren't home yet. There was like 3 hours for them to get there. So I put his head in some ice, and I remember him going like, I'm not feeling well. At 15, I decided to find out who my real dad was. So I drove to Florida, met that guy, and he works construction. So he asked me what I wanted to do. I said, let's build something. So in that week, we built a boat together. We put the rudder in, and we took it for its maiden voyage, and it sank. So I think that says a lot.
How did you get more into the TV entertainment aspect with construction?
Okay, that's a good question. I never wanted to be a professional construction guy. I wanted to be a graphic designer. And so I went to school, I got a degree, and I ended up working for this graphic design firm. But I always kept going back to the job site, because that's the beauty of being in a trade. Like, you can go try another job, but you can always put on your tool belt, show up at a job site, and they will hire you. There's like these doors of opportunity that happened. And instead of like guessing, should I go, I just said yes every time. Here's what I mean. Like, I was skateboarding on Peachtree about an hour before I was supposed to go to art school, and this guy came up to me, handed me a card, and said, hey, I think I can make you some money. He handed me this card that was basically like a modeling agency or something, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can make some cash. I don't know. So I went, and these people go, we have no idea who you're talking about. Why are you here? I had a rat tail because I was a skater, right? There was a Japanese scout there, and he's pointing at me and laughing, and I said, hey, what's his problem? And they're like, oh, he's a Japanese scout. So this guy comes over and says, hey, you should come to Japan. And I said, do what? And he said, make money. And I said, when do we leave? My dad looked at the contract and said, you're going into slavery. Like, this says you're not going to make any money. You're going to have to pay for everything yourself. I said, sounds like it's going to be fun. My point is because I went through that door, because I said yes, it changed my whole perspective of what I wanted to be and what I thought I could do with my life. I got a call from an agency in New York. I went to New York. I went to
10 auditions in 1 week and I landed 3. I asked the director, like, why did you hire me? I just need to know. I was like, is there something about me? And he goes, well, to be honest with you, not really. But you see that pretty girl, that's our lead. She really lights up when you're also in the shot. I was like, so I'm here to make her look better? He goes, yeah. I found out what I'm really good at is making people comfortable on camera. And I think that's why I've done so well in reality TV. I would say if there's one word that sums me up, it is chaos. Because I can create something out of chaos. And if there isn't any chaos, I'll stick my foot in a fan to create it.
Favorite color?
I would say orange and turquoise. However, it's a little flamboyant. So I'm gonna say this. If the combination can be a bit much, I've always wanted a vintage scooter, right? That's creamsicle. By the way, another story. My brother and I. Hold on.
So I heard you mention a motorcycle or a scooter. What are your favorite, or what is your favorite?
I just love this Italian scooter style. Again, it goes back to this movie called Quadrophenia. The reason they call it a Vespa is it's a wasp. That's why it's got the fat tanks. But a GS scooter with my haircut neat, I would say that would be my style.
Knowing where you came from and seeing them here and seeing what seems for us a leg up, what impact does that have on you seeing them have these opportunities so much earlier than you did?
When you learn a trade, that not only stays with you, but you learn from experience. And then when you're working among other trades, you're also soaking in all the knowledge of the plumber that's working next to you, the electrician that's working like above you. So you're actually learning all these other trades while you're still focusing on yours. Skills trade is the option that we should all not only fall back on, but I think make the first step with. Now that I've shared with the students everything they could possibly want to know about me, Travis is going to scan my face. Wait, you're gonna what?
So who's ready for a scan?
What?
Back in the day, prop makers like me would cover your whole face in alginate and hope you didn't panic. But today, we take a different approach.
So I have 2 different scanners here. This one's called the EVA, this one's called the Space Spider. So this one's actually for very small things. If I really wanted to capture every pore, every little hair follicle,
nostril hair,
everything, I would do it with this. But this one is more designed for larger objects. I could literally scan a helicopter with this and the software would piece it together.
Wow.
This captured data, the software compiles that data into a perfect 3D model. I take that into my digital sculpting software, do additional planning from there, and then send said object to the printer. Yeah.
So this is like weird science come to life.
It is, yeah. So if I wanted like a perfectly accurate, catching like all aspects of his head, I would ask him to put like a bald cap on.
Something like this?
I don't think so.
I'm guessing it goes a little higher up. Oh, wow. Do I need to have my phone out of my pocket?
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna see your face.
So close my face. So do you guys want to know what that felt like?
Yeah.
You're on the runway?
No, here's what it felt like. It felt like a UFO. You know what I mean? Was like flying around you, scanning you, about to take you up to the mother planet. It looks like I'm part of the living dead.
You can already see like the detail that even this scanner is able to capture versus like the super detail.
That is wild. Can we talk about the size of my nostrils? Can you zoom in there? like look at this. Like tilt it up a little bit. Look at the size of that.
With Ty's face scanned and uploaded, it's time to send him home and start designing. The students will use his story as inspiration and build something completely original.
The main thing I do want to focus on is his ability to just talk.
I think we should have his mouth open. That's kind of his superpower of his gift of gab and making people feel comfortable.
We definitely want to do orange and turquoise.
I feel like we definitely need to incorporate some kind of just like, whether it's a texture or something to do with wood.
I would maybe try to do it on the bottom, like a pattern maybe.
There's a lot of elements and I don't want them to clash.
I would love to incorporate that hat, which seems to be with him everywhere.
So the mask would need to end about forehead height. That way his hat is still, I like that.
One of the themes I've seen with masks before is like a, I kind of want to say a mesh cover where it has like all the holes in it. We could do something like that because it looks kind of similar to a bug's eyes.
It sounded like he literally needs chaos to thrive in creation. I like the idea too of potentially referencing with the wood, like the less refined, and as it's going up and we start getting into more Vespa stuff, I think we should start getting more and more refined, which kind of also shows like build and grow. These are all great ideas. I mean, and granted, this sketch is nowhere near the end of what we're going to reach here.
After working with the students, I mocked up a design. Time to head to the office and merge it with Ty's scan.
I took Ty's scan here, and then I'm starting to kind of base out forms as I'm working through this, having like, say for example, we talked about this element being wood, right? So I want that to be separate, so when I decide to add texture to just that, it's easier to manipulate.
How long did it take you to learn or get used to this software?
I'd say over the course of several years, I think my goals kind of changed. When I was first doing stuff like this, it was a lot more like organic sculpting. What I'm doing here would be referred to as hard surface modeling. I can manipulate and change and really focus on the visual of how it's going to look really fast. Now, the amount of resources as far as like video tutorials and all kinds of stuff, an entry point is a lot easier. A couple of years, but I would go into that with very specific goals.
It's extremely impressive to see everything like that. And then you've only been in here for it felt like maybe 10 minutes and you have like a pretty solid base down.
As I finish up the design, the next step will be to print, paint, and run it through each station before we deliver the mask to Ty on the show floor of the SkillsUSA finals.
So this is a mask that we designed for you based on the scan that we did and based on elements of your childhood and story that we talked to you about.
Oh my God, so I've literally talked too much. Wow, this is wild.
What we have here is we have a foundation built on chaos, one word that describes you. This is also referencing you building treehouse as a kid.
Treehouse,
yeah, also embracing like kind of flaws as well, showing the human hand.
Wow.
As you can see, we've referenced Vespa quite a bit here.
Oh, I see the side panels.
Yeah, and then the middle thing right here. We also have the yellow jacket eyes after hearing your story of you and your brother.
Wow.
And we also really liked the idea of how your mom described you as a fire hydrant that was just flowing out of your mouth, so we made sure to leave the mouth open.
I love the storyline. This is amazing. Did you do this alone?
No, I did not. So if the students want to come in.
So you guys got to work with Travis to make this. I think so. Is this the first three-dimensional superhero mask you guys have ever made?
Definitely.
I love the connection with the wood for the treehouse and the fact that my brother was stuck. Some of you guys I don't even know what to say. This is impressive. Any ideas like what I should call myself?
I believe the name that we kind of came up for your superhero, seeing as how chaos and ADHD is kind of your superpower, is general distraction.
Yep.
Deep diving into the world of additive manufacturing has been a blast. But the truth is, it's more than just fun, it's the future. From breakthroughs in healthcare to restoring priceless pieces of history, additive manufacturing is reshaping the world. It speeds up innovation, solves critical problems, and powers everything from film sets to aerospace labs. But here's the hard part. We don't have enough people stepping into those roles. Across the trades, welding, electrical, plumbing, mechatronics, additive manufacturing, we're facing a growing gap. And if we don't act, the gap becomes a crisis. So the question is, will you step up? Because the trades need you, and the time is now.
Hey Ty, there's really only one thing left for you to do now.
I think I know what you mean. Look, a small dog! You know what happens when you put different skills in a blender? You make skills jam. Look, a shiny object. And just like that, we foiled them again. I love the fact that you have an accent.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, citizen.
God bless you, sir.
Look! It's Tom Selleck. I'm kidding. He's way too old for you. You're welcome, citizens. You're welcome.
So, are you thinking about a career in the trades? Take a look at the link in the description to learn more. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to see Ty's other experiences not shown in this video that happened here at NLSC. You'll watch with Ty as students race to build a tiny home in 16 hours in competition right here on the show floor. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.